Hi everyone. So the question of whether or not Lysistrata is a feminist work is difficult to answer because there are so many different ways to interpret it. You could say it is a feminist work because there's a lot of emphasis on a woman's worth being tied to sex and seduction, but you could also say that it is feminist because it shows females acknowledging their poor treatment in society and using what little power they have to their advantage. This piece is interesting because it seems to both confirm and reject gender stereotypes. For example, the men are portrayed as lustful, but so are the women. And furthermore, in the beginning, we're led to believe that most of the female characters are weak willed and airheaded, but Lysistrata is the exception. And only with her guidance do the women succeed. But with that being said, there are many feminist points brought out in this play, like how the older women said that women are only seen as desirable in their youth, while old men can still hook up with young girls. And it could also be said that this work argues against toxic masculinity because we see how damaging brute strength and male pride can be when it would actually be better to lay down your pride and talk things out peacefully. But then again, we must consider the time period and the author's intentions. In Aristophanes' time and culture, there was little concept of feminism. There were no gender stereotypes or toxic masculinity that were talked about in the terms that we would use today. But these ideas were definitely developing. But it's also hard to know Aristophanes' intentions when he was writing this. I think he also considered it more of a comedy or a satire than actually commenting on women's rights in society and saying this is how things should be. But my final thoughts, nonetheless, are that Lysistrata is not really feminist by today's standards, but it was probably somewhat progressive for the time period that it was written. So, uh, what I would say is it would be best classified as proto-feminist or honestly maybe even proto-proto-feminist.